Patch 17.5B arrives just one day after the launch of Patch 17.5, and this image summarizes everything that's happening in this emergency balance update. Immediately, the meta shifts once again. Samira, Ornn, and the entire Space Groove package have been hit with a series of nerfs. While the comp is still strong enough to consistently secure top 4s, it no longer dominates lobbies the way it did yesterday. Riot specifically targeted Samira's mana and crowd control duration to tone down the comp's power. With the king of the meta finally brought back down to earth, several other comps are now ready to take over the ladder. In this video, I'll break down the top 5 best comps that fully capitalize on all the changes in Patch 17.5B. So you know exactly what to play to climb right now. Let's get started. Coming in at number 5, we have Jinx Challenger Reroll. Multiple core units receive buffs and now much stronger secondary carries, giving the entire Challenger package a huge boost. The game plan is simple. Play your strongest board early and look to win streak with Primordian units. Not only does this save HP, but the extra economy and free units from Primordian help you hit your upgrades much more consistently. For items, prioritize either Jinx or Bel'Veth to carry the mid-game just as effectively, and Jax needs some items to hold the front line for your carry. At number 4, we have Master Yi Brawler. This comp was already a strong contender in the previous patch, but Patch 17.5B has pushed it firmly into S-tier territory. With buffs to both Bel'Veth and Kindred, the Primordian core is stronger than ever, giving this composition a much smoother path into the late game. Your goal is to leverage that early game power by maintaining tempo with Bel'Veth and Primordian units. Look to preserve HP, build economy, and establish a strong board that can comfortably carry you through Stage 2 and Stage 3. As you enter Stage 3 and Stage 4, start preparing your transition. Move your carry items onto Master Yi as soon as you find him, even at 1-star, and gradually replace your early game units with the full Brawler setup. Once Yi comes online with proper items and a beefy front line, this comp becomes incredibly difficult to stop. Coming in at number 3 is Challenger Misfortune Urgot. This comp is one of the biggest winners of Patch 17.5, not because it got buffed directly, but because the meta shifted in its favor. Space Groove and Ornn were slightly nerfed, making frontline battles more manageable, while more players are contesting Fast 9 boards after the Bard and Vex buffs. That creates a perfect environment for Misfortune and Urgot. You can often hit your upgrades uncontested and spike much earlier than the Fast 9 players. What I love about this comp is that it has 2 real carries and flexible tanks. Misfortune is your main carry, while Urgot provides consistent secondary damage. For tanks, you can aim for Maokai and Ross 3 stars if Ornn is contested. So, if you find early Misfortune copies and strong AD items, this is one of the most reliable ways to climb in Patch 17.5. Rising to top 2 is the Darkstar Dragon Aurelion Sol. This comp becomes an absolute must-play whenever you get a Darkstar emblem. While it may not be the easiest board to assemble every game, the payoff is incredible. With the emblem activated and the right AP items, Aurelion Sol becomes one of the most devastating carries in the entire set, melting every tank at sea in the way to victory. The perfect partner for him is Nunu, simply to buy as much time as possible. That's why items like Protector's Vow and Adaptive Helm are so important. The more cast and survivability Nunu has, the longer Aurelion Sol gets to scale and wipe the fight. And finally, taking the number 1 spot, we have Corki Meeples. This is one of the most reliable Fast 8 comps in Patch 17.5B. While many players were focused on the Samira and Space Groove nerfs, Corki Meeples quietly emerged as one of the biggest winners of the hotfix. Thanks in part to the buffs to Rammus, giving the comp a much sturdier frontline and a smoother transition into the late game. Corki is your primary carry and the most important unit in the comp. Prioritize Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, and Giant Slayer or Deathblade. Corki provides consistent AD damage and can shred through both tanks and backlines once properly itemized. Rammus is your frontline carry, buys enormous time for Corki to deal damage. Best items are Warmog's Armor, Gargoyle Stoneplate, and Dragon's Claw or Bramble Vest. Riven acts as a secondary carry and frontline threat. Any leftover AD, tank, or utility items can be placed here to increase your board's overall power. The best augments are economy augments that help you reach level 8 quickly, plus Corki-specific combat augments, cybernetic augments, item augments, and any augment that improves frontline durability. Meeple-related emblems and trait augments are also excellent when available. This comp has an early power spike but will fall off in late game if you don't own good emblems, like Meeples for Riven or Rouge for Corki. If you can get any 4-cost unit to 3 stars, your chance to win the game would be much higher. Well, that's all I have for now. Let me know in the comment what comp and strategy you want to explore in this patch, and I will make more in-depth analyses for you in the next video.